What's up, guys? Coming out with a video today. I'm doing my review of Bleach Thousand Year Blood War episode. Bleach Thousand Year Blood War English dub episode 8. So here it goes. So episode starts out with one of the Soul Reaper captains was talking about the falling of the head Soul Reaper there, and she was actually saying something about like if um if if you didn't really didn't fall down in battle, we should have still had our captain there. We should have had our thing, but mostly he fought pretty well against the Quincy, and mostly his might looking down upon us. That's what she was saying to him. Next scene there, we see Ichigo was talking there to one of the captains there, saying what type of thing there for what is actually happening with this thing. The captain gave him the paper there. He's like saying this what technically what the Soul Reapers technically did to the captain there. He was actually explaining that to Ichigo there, what actually happened to the head captain there and stuff like that. So mostly technically they were most of the two of the Soul Reapers were telling him to go rest up there. He didn't want to do it there. He's like, mostly my injuries are not as bad compared to everybody else. He's there. That's what he was saying. Um, and they're like, oh well, it's kind of like too late there. One of the captains there was taken to Rukia there, and we'll see the captain was actually saying um, to Ichigo there, saying mostly there's something um, is been there's something with that Quincy boss there, and he was actually explaining what actually happened to that Quincy boss there and stuff like that, and why he's like why you went after him and stuff. That's what he was saying to him. Ichigo didn't give him too much of an answer. Teddy Rukia wakes up there, and kind of like there's kind of a little bit of some jokes at Ichigo there, and she said something about um, saying what is going on there. So then he's like, oh, you kind of looks like you can't really talk there. And she's like, oh, who cares about that? She's like, I can still talk and stuff. And that doesn't really affect my thing there. I mostly, that's what she was saying and stuff. One of the captains comes in and was saying something about his Zanpakuto, and mostly Ichigo runs out the building there and stuff like that. Technically, one of Aruka kind of noticed something there was wrong with Ichigo there. Technically, he told one of the head captains there, saying, Ichigo's kind of acting weird and stuff like that. And mostly he was like, oh yeah, his sword technically broke, so technically he didn't have nothing to fight against. So he was actually saying he had nothing to fight against and stuff like that. And then she's like, well, that is not the case there. It's not really his sword breaking there. It's mostly his sword breaking there. Why she was actually explaining that. She's like, it's not really his sword breaking there. There's something else wrong with him and stuff like that. And we don't see, she was actually saying something about that. She said there's something else going on with him, minus his sword breaking and stuff. We see the captains there, mostly standing around the broken sword there and stuff, and they were saying something about the head sword, this head Soul Reaper guy, the old man. He was actually, they're saying, they kind of like get most of respected and stuff like that. And one of the soldiers came in there and stuff, and he's like saying something about everybody tending to get injured there and stuff like that, and they lost one of their best fighters there. Uh, one of the one of the head captains there got pissed off at him. He's like, "Well, Weezy's lost. Weezy's lost our our leader there. Why in the heck do you want to break some bad news about it and stuff like that?" That's what he was saying there. And then he was actually saying, "Well, technically, it's mostly something really important there and stuff, and mostly these guys need to be more healed and stuff like that." So, that was going on with that stuff there. Even one of the guys came in. He's like, "Well, just calm down and don't fight." He's like, if the old man was still here, he'd be walking us in the freaking head there." That's what he was saying to him. And technically, we get to the next scene there, where technically Ichigo uh, was saying something to one of the captains there, saying something about his sword there, and he said, "Well, technically, you can't really fix this type of sword if it." He's like, "You can't fix your Zanpakuto without if it you can it's easily to fix a Zanpakuto there because the Zanpakuto is technically like another sword, or it's technically like a sword there." So he said it's easy to fix, but technically it's not. Mostly Ichigo's Zanpakuto is technically uh, mostly Ichigo's Zanpakuto is technically a has Bankai in it. So mostly he said it won't work if the sword has like the Bankai there. So when he technically has the Bankai inside the sword there, it will it's not fixable. It's impossible to fix it there because Bankai versions of it are technically impossible to fix, I guess. So Ichigo was like, "Well, I can just fix the damn thing and stuff like that if you can't fix it there." And he said it's impossible to fix and stuff. And so that's what he was saying to him there. Technically, um, you see one of the characters there was saying to we see him like running across and he's like, "Wait, why did he's like, why he's here and stuff like that, why he's doing it in the Soul Society and stuff like that." So, um, mostly they were saying something about uh, mostly he said there's more surprises going. So all the captains there walk over to thing Ichigo falls and stuff, and technically the five and main captains there from the sky, or the royal captains there, um, came down to the sky there, and then they were saying something about they want something there with the Soul Society, and he's like, "You guys kind of got screwed up there and stuff," and they're like, "Yeah, we just got attacked by the Quincy's there." That's what one of the old captains was saying, or one of the captains was saying, and stuff like that. So the royal captains there was saying something about, "Well, we can take we want to restrain from Ichigo Usaki there, and we might want to take him and stuff like that." Technically, they were saying they might want to take him and stuff, and mostly one of the things saying, "Why you care? He saved our asses and stuff like that during the fight and stuff like that for it." And then mostly Pender and stuff. She's like, "Well, technically you not that you technically lost mostly half your soldiers because of you just let the mostly Stanley invaded the Soul Society there." That's what he was saying there. So he's like, "You need to calm down and stuff." So he said he needed to calm down and stuff like that. He's like, mostly we had to take Ichigo there because of something there and stuff. And mostly they take the three wounded there. They're like, "Oh, those units right? And it's those Soul Reapers, those three of those Soul Reapers there you have are really wounded there and stuff like that. And he said, well, technically, he actually said technically, mostly we're going to take them to actually heal them and stuff like that. That's what they were saying. And he said, they were actually said, well, technically, we can't really heal the one of the Royals or one of the Royal Soul Reapers actually was saying something about, he's like, well, technically we're gonna take these guys so they can actually heal up much better because they have better healing abilities there compared to the Soul Reapers there, who honestly are kind of banged up there and stuff. So mostly they were saying some, Ichigo was actually saying something about his sword to the Royals there. He said, well, technically, they said it's impossible there to actually fix the sword there. That's what they were saying. But mostly they're going to give him another sword there to actually have the playing field there. And mostly giving him another sword is mostly similar to his sword there. Similar to like Ichigo's sword there. So they take off there. They go to the royal palace thing there. They're telling Ichigo there, saying what type of quincies these soldiers are and stuff like that. Ichigo gave him out there and stuff. He's like, oh, I see there and stuff. He's like, well, saying something about like, he's like, well, we might mostly do some more research on these guys and stuff. But right now, just go take care of them. So technically, Ichigo was sailing in the bathwater there. Technically, he's like, what the heck is going on? And stuff like that. And he's like, well, technically, I have two sides there. And he's like, you're just gonna let him drown and stuff. And then he's like, no, he's like, I'm not gonna let him drown. He's like, I'm killing them and stuff. And mostly half of their like blood is going in the water there. And he's like, you're just letting him bleed out. He's like, well, check over there. And it had like a pool of, well, not a pool, like a hot tub full of like blood there. He's like, what are you gonna do with them? He's like, good. He's like, well, I'm gonna throw him in there. He picks up one of the Soul Reapers, throws him in there. He's like, what are you? He was like, you're kidding me? You're gonna kill him and stuff. And he's like, well, he's like, pipe down. He's like, technically, if I throw him in there, technically it gets rid of the blood there and actually dissolves the blood and stuff. That's what he was saying. He's like, if I put him in where the hot springs are at, he's like, generally they mostly heal much faster there. So, and that's where the episode ends. So, yep. Comment, rate, responsive to its prayers. If you like, recommend, subscribe, hit the bell notification for uploads. Responsive to its prayers. My Kyle, and your peace.